But that's what I'm gonna name it on YouTube. Watch out here now. Watch out. Get up. Oh my. I love it when you can hear yourself. It's nothing better. Nothing better than hear yourself. Let me see if I can see what I can do about that. There we go. Uh-oh. So I'll be in like a deep jam, right? And when it plays over the microphone, y'all can't hear it like I hear it. It's not fun. It's not feeling it without you. That's right. That's right, Mr. With it. Mr. Win, tell them. EWF. Breaking some breaking some copyright laws. Cause I can't I'm sorry, I can't find it. There she goes. There she goes. Got so many windows open. Come on. Oh. Mm. No, no. Woo! It's AfroEconomics Live. Oh my goodness. my my backup career. Y'all know I used to be a DJ. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. Oh wow. What about that? I was I was one of the first hip hop, if not the first. I gotta get it. I know at the station I was on, the first one to bring hip hop to the University of Virginia. Look, it's to win. No, not in Chicago. that look, you definitely wouldn't know me for Afro economics if I was on the radio in Chicago 30 years ago. Oh my. I would hope. I don't know. You never know. God could have brought me to the same place and made it even bigger. It would have been out of Chicago. Indeed. This is Afro Economics Live. I am JB Bryan, the president and chief investment officer of JB Bryan Financial Group, a registered investment advisory firm. And what we say, the home of Afro economics. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I appreciate you all so much. We even have Jenny Jones back. I'm going to open up the microphone for some of the members who always are in my amen corner. I appreciate you all. And to my husband, Michael Robinson, you know, I thank God for you every day, throughout the day. The man that is the wind beneath
Same
my
here, baby.
wings. Oh, thank you so
Love
much. I thank you so much. How you doing, Miss Davis? Holding it down for Atlanta. Miss White in Richmond, Virginia. Miss Walton in Petersburg, Virginia. Miss Grandage in Hopewell and Prince George, Virginia. Her mansion is so big it goes across both counties. Don't stop.
I love it. I love it.
That's right. That's how we do. That's how we do. Yes, indeed. How you doing, little Debbie? Oh, I appreciate you. Oh, Miss Charles from Maryland. We need somebody in Baltimore. In Baltimore, because we got DC, we got the counties around Baltimore, we got Oxon Hill, we need Baltimore. So y'all tell me we're doing a shout out to everybody in Baltimore that y'all need to represent in Afro economics. We got ATL, we have New York, we need to get every borough in New York City, every county in Virginia, every part of DC. We need to, you know what? We need to get the entire United States of America. And then we'll go abroad. What does it say? Afro Economics is a strategic financial management program designed for the advancement of Black wealth in America and abroad. So we have a huge challenge ahead of us. And today is about avoiding avoiding money mistakes is specifically those that you generally make when investing. We want to, a lot of times what not to do, and I've said this before, what not to do is more important really than what you do. Because you could do these things. So we really need to put some effort in. What are the things, that people do and they feel so good about it? They feel like I thought I don't even think this is part of my 10 things that I see people do all the time. But Personal Capital did a survey and they said that a little more than 20% of the people they surveyed check their investments daily. Daily. Like that's a habit that could be kind of deadly to your pocket, because sometimes you're keeping up. Like, we have so much access to everything. There was probably a time, I can't remember it, but there was probably a time where people didn't know how much money they had until until the end of the quarter. Now, because I wouldn't say that that's like really good. So they probably were like, what's going on? I don't really know. And then they get their quarterly statement and, if things were outrageous. So I'm not saying that not that only once a quarter, but sometimes people check it too much. So they become obsessed about daily changes. So they really have to be careful with, not allowing the things that you see or hear, on a daily basis, adjust your long-term goals. I just want to throw that out there. So let's look at some things, and as we go along, don't hesitate to give me a shout out on something that you have found to be true or something that you want to add. I trust that you and I feel sorry for people that get in late and have something to say, because I've opened up, sometimes I forget to come back and look. But how you doing? Look, I gotta go back and look for Mr. Jones, right? Because y'all know what I say, the party don't start till Kenneth Jones get here. It's just
Hey, baby, how are you?
it just started. I'm just, we we we're we're glad that it was only 7 minutes into the hour. He said,
I thank
now,
you for waiting for me.
you know, now you're here. We're ready to go. So
And here it is.
exactly. So 10 top mistakes that we want to avoid. The first one I'd say is avoid losing focus. Avoid losing focus. I'm gonna get Mr. Win, because we got your mic open, and I'm gonna get him. I got him. I gotta get good. I gotta get good with that mute trigger, right? Don't lose focus. Pull out, pull out of the, pulling out of the stock market at the worst time can wreak havoc on your long-term investment goals. Because then once you lose focus on your long-term goals because you're distracted by those short-term changes, because you're checking it like every half a day, morning, noon, and night, like, and you're like, oh my goodness, and I'm gonna, so too often people pull out when the market is down just on their paper. It's not a real loss, of course, until you sell it at that lower price. And because they don't have enough savings accumulated, that causes the problem. Because if you had enough savings accumulated, you wouldn't be tortured about these short-term changes in the market. You would understand, well, I know this is for the long term, and I already have 6 months of savings available for me out of the market. Like how our whole financial opportunity to plan, that's what Afroeconomics is all about, is about structuring a lifestyle that helps us avoid losing focus of our ultimate financial goal. A second point that we find, we're talking about these 10 mistakes that I see a lot that we make, like, is that following the herd. Like, if you think Like you're doing everything that other people do, like, you know, and it's like in the term following the herd just makes me think if you're following a herd of cows, you're going to step into some what?
Bullshit.
Mess.
It's going to it's going to get messy. It's going to get messy. I made a vow that, like, to myself.
Jones home, please.
I made a vow that I wasn't gonna cuss, so I gotta have y'all insert the cuss words. Thank you.
Queen Mother.
I'm gonna
Forgive me.
I'm gonna write out like 10 cuss words at the beginning, and then I'm gonna allow y'all to plug them in where it's necessary. Wouldn't that be funny?
Yep.
You can only use these 10 four-letter words. Our featured four-letter words of the day. Exactly. Now you've only used up one of them. You know what I'm saying? So we're doing good. We still low. We still doing good. Billy Anderson, we doing good. That's indeed. George, I don't know, Mr. Wynn. I don't know. He said George Carlin, and that's above like my outside of my scope of understanding. Exactly.
He was a different dude. He was a different dude.
He was a different dude. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said, oh, he's gonna help me insert some letters to some words. But y'all are good enough for me. And the y'all are good enough. What about a third thing that we want to make sure that we avoid? Mistakes that I see very often. You know what I mean? And this is the mistake of like making too many changes in your account. And you know, if you have a stock portfolio trading all the time, like real informed investors, we give our portfolio a chance to perform, not just over a day, not just over a week, but I allow my portfolios to perform over years, possibly. Not, you know, but we live in this app mentality that they, you know, these companies make money off transactions. So they're motivating you to always think of something else. So, oh, get rid of that, move in here, do this. You don't say, not even to consider the tax consequences of these things, but but that, you know, ultimately, all too often, the trading and the pushing that you're encouraged to make these trades is pulling down on your long-term portfolio. So be careful on trading too often. I see clients and from statements from where they are, and I'm trying to take the assets from their firm and get them into my firm. And I will say to the client, like, what was this all about? Like, they'll have like 20 different trades that were done the month before. And I'm like, you know, what was that all about? And I'm not even joking. I have seen trades done that make the client worse off. Like, I go, look at this. Now, I mean, historical performance is no guarantee of future results, but look at this. They took you out of the one that was doing well and put you into this loser in the same asset class. It would be different if they were trying to reposition you back. Like, you know, I don't understand that. I don't. Sometimes we have to be very careful. I don't care what type of machine you've decided that you were going to sign up with. You need to have a very good understanding of what is going on. I'm saying with my clients, I go out of my way to not exercise discretion, meaning I want them involved in every decision that's made on their account. But you know, we're thinking, oh, certainly this machine is smarter than me and smarter than every human being I know. And then when I pointed out, no, the machines are making mistakes. The machines are designed to work together with humans, not replace us. You got the too. That's right. So a fourth point is mistake. A fourth point that I see a lot is thinking that you have selected the perfect investment. You know, that this is perfect and will always be perfect. And this is the kicker. That perfect investment, you're the only one that knows about it. Or you're doing it because everybody else is doing it, and you and your group are the only smart people. Nobody else that you know that has money is actually doing it. So you doing this thing, but it's the perfect investment. But or everybody you know that's doing well is in something that's with a licensed advisor. But you're doing something that's not even on the stock market, not even regulated, not even they ain't even giving you a statement. But you swear that's the perfect investment. And
I'm gonna bring other people in, JB.
And then you're gonna bring other people in. And then you're gonna bring people in. And what hurts me the most is usually that perfect investment is offered by a person who is not licensed, not regulated, not a financial advisor, does not have experience. You know what I mean? They're not a regulated financial advisor, which means whatever they put you in, they're really not legally bound to protect you, but you could try to sue them. I mean, look at all of the cases. Athletes, you're talking about multimillionaires that have gone through with people putting them into these off, you're the only one that knows about it, investments, and it's perfect.
Wow. That's right.
And they're rich and they're talking about it. Like Wesley Snipes hooking up with some professional that tells him he doesn't have to pay taxes, but he wasn't willing to go to jail with Wesley. He said, isn't that sad? No, be very careful. Nothing is perfect. Nothing that I show you is perfect. Everything that I will show you has a good part about it and a bad part about it. If it gives us the maximum growth potential, then I'm also psychologically always preparing you for this is a good day. We will see bad days. We will see bad days. And I repeat it, we will see bad days. So I'm not putting every last dime of yours into something that is going to give you volatility. That's not an emergency fund. You will see bad days, but at the same time, if you put all your money into investments that never see bad days, like savings accounts and fixed investments, you can't put it all there either.
Right.
So that's why it's called a portfolio. That's why we have to have a plan. A fifth point is that let's think about the way we view and investments. Like we feel that it's okay to see your house as your future. People actually see their house as their retirement plan. And they go, I don't have to worry about anything else because I have this house. But the danger there is that you have to live somewhere. You cannot sell your house. You can't sell your house and then live. You can't sell it and live off it unless you do something crazy like a reverse mortgage that basically takes your house. That takes your house. You're paying, there's huge fees and penalties attached to it if you ever want the house back and everything.
JB,
Yes.
what about people who keep, like, they do it once and they do it twice, that refinancing their house? Are they losing money?
Yes. Yes. And that's a big thing about it. Like you cannot refinance your house and still have that house available to sell upon retirement, and you keep refinancing it and you're getting closer and closer to retirement. Okay. And then if you decide you want to pay it off and your money is in your big work retirement account, then you have to pay taxes on all of that money in order to take it out to pay the house off, which if we look at it from a financial planning perspective, may not be the best idea. We have to work that through. So all I say is don't look at your house as an investment. Look at your house as your home, a place to live that happens to also be a good savings tool. And it may or may not be worth more down the road. But if it is, and you sell it, you still have to go live somewhere else.
Right.
So agree with me that your house is a place to live, but not really, a good investment. that you look at, because you have property taxes, you have homeowners insurance, you have repairs, you have renovations. And if you add all those up and then you look at the return on the money of the house, sometimes it makes your return look like it really wasn't that much. But it's still a smart thing to do for millions of Americans. But it is not your retirement plan. It's a place to live. So we still have to do other things. So you can't allow your mortgage to be so big that you don't maximize your retirement savings. That's all I'm saying. And then a sixth point is rebalancing. A lot of people never rebalance. And rebalancing, we've talked about before, is that if we have a certain percentage that's in bonds, a certain percentage that's in cash, a certain percentage that's in stocks, a certain percentage might be in alternative investments.
Oh,
And over time,
I'm listening.
that's right. And over, I know that's right. Tell them, Marilyn, you listening. That over time, you may have started with 10% in stocks, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden the stocks do well. So now that 10% in stocks becomes 20%, and you don't want to have 20% exposure to stocks, even though the stocks are the winners. If you're committed, and most people are not. So what I'm saying is that most people never even consider rebalancing. That's part of, what we do over during our reviews all the time. If it's monthly, if it's quarterly, it's whatever we have whatever you like your review schedule to be, that's what we do. But never rebalancing is not a good look. And I would say the overwhelming majority of people who have assets other places than with me, most of them haven't even talked to their financial advisor in years. I meet people all the time and they go, I don't even know what I have. I don't even know what the fees are with it. I don't even know. I've been in the business so long. All they got to do is tell me the name of it, and I pretty much know. And a seventh point is that a big mistake, one of the top 10, the seventh, and these aren't in like any type of like 70% of the people I meet say this, no. But this is something I want to point out. I also pointed out in the book, AfroEconomics, Our Black Wealth Matters, that we overvalue the short term and undervalue what we can accomplish over the long term. So what I'm saying is that we underestimate, you know what I mean, what you actually can accomplish by saving a little bit each month, each week, each day. We undervalue what we can accomplish by just doing the right thing every day. No matter how little it is, no matter how much our attempt, like we undervalue it, you know what I'm saying? But we just overestimate what we expect over the short term. So you look at we'll do an investment and you'll look at it and the first month it's down and you go, oh my goodness, it's down. Oh, I got to get out. Oh, this is horrible. And I don't know. I don't know where that mentality comes from, because I guess it comes from like looking at TV or looking at advertisements, and it makes you think that people get rich quick, like that wealth, true wealth, sustainable wealth is done overnight, and it's not. And we have to stop undervaluing what we can accomplish over the long term. And then the eighth point I want to share is that many people don't understand the taxation and the tax code. I was helping one of our members because some of the it's just crazy, y'all. I don't know how in the world this company expected her to know that they were not going to send out any tax forms. Do you hear me? This is a major corporation. that sent out no tax statements for the pension. So the same company that manages the pension manages the retirement withdrawals. So she got two statements from the same company, and anybody with any good sense would think that that's it. You're not gonna, that's it. I got everything I'm supposed to need. Because I got two from this company. And then the IRS says, no, 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 we got 5 1099s from that company. And I said, they said, and only in the IRS was like cutting us off and all this stuff and everything. But what trips me out is AfroEconomics get the privilege of me helping them address those things. I don't know, but I can't find a tax preparer that will do that by my people. They just will take what the IRS says and then just go with it. Oh, they say you owe more money. So that's what her tax preparer said. Well, you owe more money. But nobody was explaining to her why every year she was owing more money. So what was happening is we had to call. So I said, well, why'd you need to write a letter. I told the company, you need to write a letter and tell the IRS that she did not receive 5 1099s because she went into the lady at the company, went into her account. No, only 3. There was 3 or 2. I think she saw 3. One was very little, and we had 2. And then the other 3, okay, that's believable. But it was only off by like an extra one for a couple $100. So I don't know why they have so many from one company. So then they can't even explain why they have all these different ones. So then I said, just write a letter so we can tell the IRS that you have the income wrong because there's none. So then she puts us on hold again, and 30-minute hold again. And then she comes back after you tell them that they have to write the letter on their letterhead so that you can save the client money. They said, oh, we found the other ones. I said, well, what are you talking about? Oh, there's 2 others. There's 2 others, as if she's supposed to know. I'm going to put them on the phone. I said, well, you stay on the phone too. Y'all work together. One side's pension, one side's retirement account. Y'all both the same company. You stay on the phone too. So the guy says, well, if you don't ask us to send it to you, we don't send it. I said, but when you go online, you don't see it. They said, oh, I understand that. But if you don't ask us, I said, so when you go in, even your coworker didn't see it online. So how would the client, y'all are trained to do, how would the client find it? Isn't that ignorant?
And we don't know how to find it, JB.
You don't even know how to find it. So for years, the tax preparer has been doing the tax return. Then she has to pay more money saying that everything was reported and nobody is addressing it. So today I said, we're just going to address it. And the client was patient. And I just said, I had meetings, but just in between, we just tried to get it right. I had to talk to, it took like 3 hours.
Wow.
But that's the commitment that somebody has to have to our community. And by sharing that story, I'll have to say, whoever it is out there, I'm telling you, we have to make a commitment. You know what I mean? As being a top mistake that we make, that is that we're not checking our taxes. We're not doing our tax planning. That's very important. I am convinced that Black people pay more in taxes as a percentage of their income than any other people in the country. I just can't prove it. But I'm telling you, because
I think you're right.
I'm telling you, know what I'm saying?
100%.
Because
yes.
we don't question it. You know what I'm saying? So I had to tell the IRS, I said, look, this has to be investigated because she does not have all these 1099s. She said, well, you just called, and the way people talk to us.
Oh my God.
I just wish that there was a recording that you could hear the way, and I don't know if that's where my dissertation, it's just gonna be impossible. But on my dissertation, I really want to talk about the implicit biases in financial services on how we are treated. Like, if you can imagine how you get treated, they put it on social media about how we get treated at a restaurant and stuff like that. They ain't implicit, that's obvious. But when you're
Right.
talking about stuff like this, and the technical divide, and then and then not, oh my goodness. So we get the bill, and I'd say to the guy at the product, the client has to pay taxes. I mean, the client has to pay penalties and interest because she never received a form and never asked you not to send it to her.
Mm.
How you gonna tell me you gotta opt in for a tax form to be mailed out? When that happened? When that happened? But if you wanted the tax form to come, you had to go online and tell them to mail it. So people gotta go through this. Yeah, Miss Davis, this is your company too. Not your but one of that big F one.
Oh
So
my
I got
goodness.
so I gotta
I'm not surprised.
so I got yeah, so I you know what? So I gotta do y'all
Yeah.
tripping. And
Yeah.
with her the other time, same company, we had to get them to correct her tax coding on the distributions because they didn't know that the tax law allows you, if you're over 55, to take a penalty-free withdrawal from the 401k. And they sending out the tax code. Well, how many people? I had several just in my small book of business. This big, and this is a 3-letter word, fill it in, big company gonna sit there and send out the wrong tax codings. So if you have the wrong tax coding, it's putting a 10% tax penalty on your withdrawal and you don't even know it. So it gets so bad, like people, the clients think, oh my goodness, JB, come on, gosh, why I gotta show you? I go, well, look, just show me the tax forms. You know what I mean? And then they realize on a $90,000 distribution, that's a $9,000 penalty if they don't code it right.
And you see what you see, that's why I love you, JB, because you
Thank
tell me
you.
the things I don't know.
Yeah, and we you know what I'm saying, and we just accept it. So then when you get the tax bill that says you owe them $10,000,
We
then you
just
do
go
it.
ahead and pay it.
Like
We
I
just go
told,
ahead and pay it.
yeah, and then the lady says today that they had her form tax coded incorrectly, but the only way that it gets to be corrected is that you get a CPA. I said a CPA to correct the tax code that you put on incorrectly.
And what
And
is a
she's
CPA, JB? What
I
is
said, you know what I mean? I said that's a certified public accountant. Has absolutely nothing to do with a tax code.
wow.
Public is designed for really they're trained for, and because one of my double majors is it, I was trained to become a CPA. Has
Okay.
nothing to do that. We are not taught that. That is about business. It's like when people come out and they go, I'm a finance major. Finance majors have nothing to do with personal finance. CPAs have nothing to do with the individual tax code. It focuses on corporate, publicly traded companies. That's but we focus on. I said, no, this is a simple issue. You correct the tax code. I know it. Matter of fact, the Internal Revenue Service writes their tax code for individuals. It's not for tax professionals. It's for us to read. But they still had to tell her something crazy like that. So then I Googled and I said, no, ma'am. I already had this form corrected last year. The code is correctly now. It says early withdrawal, but it says with exception. So no, a two is correct. Let's move on. It ain't easy being us. It ain't easy being us. So many don't understand taxation of investments. A lot of us don't understand that if you reinvest dividends in an investment, that it's increasing your cost basis in that investment. And it's also because, so if you don't increase your cost basis by the dividend that you reinvested, then when you do pay taxes, you're going to pay taxes double, because you're going to pay taxes on the dividend when you received it, you know? So once the dividend is paid out and then you invest it immediately, you're going to pay taxes on that. And then later, that's also included, you know, in the dividends you receive on that dividend, but also on the sell that you receive from it. So if you receive the capital gain because of the dividends that you reinvested, you're basically paying taxes twice.
Mm-hmm.
We got to keep up with our tax situation.
So wait a minute, JB, if you have a dividend that hit for the fourth quarter, now you have cap gains that are incurred throughout that entire year, let's say on a mutual fund.
That's right.
All right, so the 1099 that you get, doesn't it supposed to sandwich both the cap gain monies and the dividend?
It
Or is
should.
there, okay,
It's
because you shouldn't,
especially on a mutual fund. If you are with that family, like mutual funds within a brokerage account, you know, it might get a little tricky. So you have to make sure that the brokerage account, you know what I mean, starts keeping up with your cost basis. Because you would, a lot of times people will set the investment up with the mutual fund and then switch it over to a brokerage account. You know, so but for a generic mutual fund, in my opinion, you do better with it being at the mutual fund family, you know, being held there. That and then or if like I recently transferred in a regular mutual fund loaded, they actually now, because of computers, brought in our original cost basis. So I can see everything that was ever made, everything that was ever reinvested right in the brokerage account now. Yeah. So
from the very
from the
beginning.
very beginning, yeah. So, but we have to, you know what I mean? You have to just, you know, be aware of that, like of, you know, everything with the taxation and how it's going to impact you, and how, and even if you're you know, if you're how you're changing, make sure that you know if they are keeping up with your cost basis. I think about that for my clients already, but a lot of people, they're just trying to get your business. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta, you know, they might not. And then you're like, oh my God, what's my cost base? They go, I don't know. You call that company, you know. You're like, oh my God. And you're like trying to call the original company, and they're like, well, no, you transferred that in, you know, blah, blah, blah. I know, but they didn't get my cost basis, you know. So it doesn't matter till it matters. And right. And then a ninth point, it's like that a mistake that a lot of people make is avoiding loans. And just know, Ms. Davis, I'm not going to let you, your cost basis and keeping up with them won't be a problem for you.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Like, oh.
I know it was going to be your next question. Exactly. What's it going to be for me? And then like avoid loans. Yeah. You know, if you'll be, if you have a 401k, especially for a retirement account, you know, and I really like this, so I want to make sure that I read it exactly out like how I put it in my notes. So people get the loans on the work retirement plan, and then they say, well, JB, it doesn't really matter because I'm just paying myself back, right? Everybody says that. You know, I'm just paying myself back, because they make a lot of money on those loans. They charge you interest. Have you noticed that?
Yep.
And a loan fee. And a loan fee. A fee for getting the loan, and then they charge you interest on the loan. So the kicker is that when you pay it back, you're paying it back with after-tax money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And
So
then
That's right. So if you're in a 24% tax bracket, every dollar that you earn, that you make in your payroll to repay your loan, actually leaves you with only 76 cents for that to put towards that loan. So it costs you, you know what I mean, more than a dollar to pay back a dollar,
I
basically.
love how you put that. I love how you put that.
You know, it's
And
very hard. It costs you more.
Yeah.
So how much does it cost to pay back a dollar? A
If
dollar
they based
75?
on based on their tax bracket. But if they're in the 24% tax bracket, they after taxes, they only have 76 cents. So it's costing them like say $1.24.
Dollar
Or,
and 24
or
cents.
a dollar and 30% if you include like state taxes.
Man, well, I've heard of people doing that. I've never
Yeah.
actually done that, but I have a couple of friends that do that.
Yep. I mean, I've lost friends by telling people to avoid doing that because I wasn't as clear about saying that. But even if I said it, I just said it's not a good idea. And my biggest argument mostly was because what if you switch jobs? That's going to be a taxable event. And then it would go, well, I'm not going nowhere. But you see how you learn, and I learn every day. I think that a better argument for why you shouldn't do it is that, right? You got to use after tax money to pay it back, and they're charging you interest. And but you know what? People really don't care. They really don't care. Like what they want that loan out. Like, you know what I'm saying? They want that loan out. And
And
the worst part is like there was this one gentleman way back, like, it was like 20 years ago, and he was retiring from Philip Morris, and he wanted to retire about say 6 months later. But right there before 6 months, he was about to lose his house. And he had over $1 million in his 401k. And he called me and he was like, what can you do? What can you do? And I said, what's wrong? What do you mean? And he said, well, I've already got a loan and they won't let me take out two loans, and I'm about to lose my house.
Wow.
And I can't, he was so close, you know what I'm saying, to just having access to all of it. And he was so ticked that they would not let him take that loan out, that when he got to his retirement, he just took all the money out and never did any IRA or nothing with me. It was mad at them, but he was like, I just don't want to ever in my life tie my money up. Do you know how much taxes he had to pay for that?
I was just getting ready to say. And
I
then
did.
JB,
Me too. Yeah.
$1 million, over $1 million. He lost half of that at least in taxes.
whoa.
Just because of taking it all in that year.
Wow.
That was crazy. The stuff I've seen, y'all. The stuff I've seen. Like we get mad at the system, and then it's cutting off your nose to spite your face, right? Kind of situation. Right? And I tried to tell him, like, don't let that get you upset. Like, let's still watch out for you. Like, over the long term, at least it worked out. Something happened. They borrowed the money from somebody and they got it straight, with that house. And then, they can pay, and it's just, oh my goodness, like, nah, So avoid loans, because when you need the money, really need it, because you took it out for something you really didn't need, you might not be able to get it. And then a 10th point would be, worrying too much about your finances is a challenge. And money is one of the most significant sources of stress for many Americans, not just Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? So we worry.
mm-hmm.
But if you looked at social media right now, you wouldn't think one Black person had any worry in the world. Like, Black, look, when I somehow get over into white world, they really are expressing concerns. They'll be like, I'm trying to hire people and people don't want to come to work. Like, I can identify with their life. Like, I mean, because I'm a business owner and I'm like, yeah, this is hard. Like, people don't want to work. And, I ain't got no PPP. And it's a, what I'm saying? I'm working every day, working harder than ever. You go over to my Black world and we chilling. Scary to me. Scary to me, because when we're out of alignment with reality, I know at some point, like when the evictions or whatever like hits, it's going to hit us like a truck.
Yep.
How can we anticipate? And that also represents that the overwhelming majority of Black people, we mostly work for municipals and federal government, state government, city governments. So they haven't been hurt as much yet. We have to start saving. We have to start saving. White people have saved more during COVID. They have been saving. The savings rate went up during COVID. I want to see that in our numbers. I want to see that in our numbers. It says in this Empower Retirement and Personal Capital survey that they did, that was conducted by the Harris poll, they said 52% of the respondents agreed that after all of the uncertainty of 2020, they are seeking more guidance on their financial strategy this year, meaning 2021. They're consulting with a financial advisor and taking advantage of workplace resources.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on, y'all. It says one of the most important things of a good financial advisor is they help remove emotions from our financial decisions. Like my husband and I have been most of the year like thinking about like what kind of break we were going to take next week. Because like, y'all, we got married. We haven't had a honeymoon or anything. And then yesterday, regulators said, okay, time for your audit for your office. They sent me 50 line items, 47 to be exact, with A, B, and C's and stuff inside them. He said, babe, we don't have to go. We don't have to go. That's team player. You know what I'm saying? That's a team player. That's a team player. I said, we're going to do something. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's a team player, though. But I'm telling you, the overwhelming majority of our people don't know what it takes to be an entrepreneur. It takes that type of compromise. It takes that type of discipline. That type of, so it's like, so if somebody comes up to me and they go like, hey, I don't know, I can't stand this job, I'm going to start me a business. What do they need to do? They need to stay at that job. Starting a business is not for someone who can't take ugly. You know what I'm saying? Starting a business is for the strong. Well, I'm not even saying anybody can start a business. Building a sustainable business over the long term that has an impact and, meets the standards that are required. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we have, so few of us that are regulated. When you meet a Black person and you ask them, and they say they're a financial advisor, you ask them, are you a registered investment advisor? Because then you'll know that they're having to satisfy that criteria, white or Black. Ask them, are they a registered investment advisory firm?
A lot of people are getting caught up with that on the YouTube, claiming to be financial managers.
Yep. I was listening to somebody today, one of the conversations, on one of the other channels, and they let somebody come in and they had like a C, C, F, W, P. There's so many C's and this and that. C's and all those C's have nothing to do with regulation. You need to see registered. That means they're with FINRA. That means you can do a background check on us.
JB, that's that database that has every financial advisor that's certified like
Exactly.
yourself.
Broker check and all of that.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? When they're registered, we gotta be we're in that.
Mhm.
All those certifications, that I can buy them. There's something you can buy straight. Y'all know it. Tell the truth. But you can't buy no registration. Right? Y'all know somebody in here got to be a certified something. There is, like, you know what I'm saying? There's a test and everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, I'm like, but if I had my money involved, I want my money regulated with the body that's going to make sure that if something goes afoul, they're going to give me my money back. A certification is not going to do that. That they have like a law, they have a guidelines, they have, you know what I mean? They have to answer to something. But we deserve that. We deserve that. We do. So it's okay if you say, well, this is certain criteria that I want, them to have, because you know what I mean, it helps. It helps. It pulls. The more that we require from people, the better our community gets. True?
True.
True.
True. Yes.
Yes. You go, no, you gotta have, you know what I mean? No, you gotta pull that up. No, you gotta be regulated. No, who do you answer to? Well, what regulatory body do you answer to? How what can I do? What is my worst case scenario? What do I, what do I do? Like when I set up a brokerage account and it says like customer agreement, and then it says like the arbitration process, and it is all written out. This is what happens.
And your fiduciary responsibility.
My fiduciary in your best interest. Everybody keeps using that term. So don't let fiduciary responsibility replace registered and licenses.
Okay.
And then when they say licenses, make sure they're up to date. Right. Not to scare you to death, but you don't get nothing back for being ignorant.
Right. That's right.
Nobody, you know what I'm saying? Nobody does us any favors when we say, well, we didn't know. I didn't know. I was telling someone today about, we have a member that she is the first Black board director for the school board for her county. And I will get her name, but she's real private and everything. But I'm gonna get her to come to one of our members only meetings. But she is a pioneer. And I was telling her about that. The thing about us is that we have to show up. We have to show up. I said, and I learned that when I was at University of Virginia, we were doing a project, and the teacher said, everybody don't have to come to the presentation. Everybody has to do their part, turn it into the group, and then, but you don't have to. So I wanted to get off to my spring break early. So I said, okay, little white boys and girls, here's my word. I see y'all after spring break. And I left.
Whoa. Mistake. Big mistake.
The teacher said, it was a systems class. And the teacher said, if I didn't know you, thankfully, one of my many jobs was I worked in his computer lab. He said, if I didn't know you, and if you weren't one of my best employees, I would have to fail you in this class. He said, everybody gave you an F. said, what's wrong? He said, the only one that gave you an A is Alicia from Atlanta, the black girl. I said, oh, I wonder why. You know what I'm saying? Thank God, because me and her were the only two black people in the whole class, and she happened to be in my group. That ain't nothing but the grace of God. He said, so I'm going to give you a C, bringing down my GPA for no reason. I did my part. But one thing that taught me then is I had to show up.
Yep.
I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. I'm showing up. And that's
They
why I
do
told her,
take advantage of your work.
right? I told her,
Absolutely.
I said, girl, I said to my client that just got over the school board, I said, my only advice to you is show up. Don't
Absolutely.
miss nothing.
My question for you, JB, is did you ever talk to her after that? Did you meet her?
The one that gave me the A.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we talked. Yeah, she was like, girl, they can't stand you. Cause I was just like I am. And one of the guys, he hated because I told him I was doing a double major in accounting and finance, and that irritated him.
Yep.
And I was like, he said, nobody does that. Nobody does those two majors. And here I am, I'm straight out of Petersburg, Virginia. I'm like, look, boy, I said what I'm doing, and that's what I'm doing. Look, and then look, oh my goodness. And then so I get to my next class, and then the teacher is in there, and I told the teacher, me and them, because I'm still following the same group. They were my accounting people, though. They weren't in finance. You know what I mean? They were the accounting people. Not to hate on accounting, but they were me. And Alicia was, thank God, she was an accounting major. But I told the teacher, this white lady, I said, these kids don't like me. They told them they don't like me. So please don't put me with, she said, well, I can't address all of your personal issues. Isn't that sad?
Liar.
Isn't that sad?
Yes.
To have the stuff that we have had to survive. But what? I showed up. I said, you know what? You do whatever you want to do. Place me whoever you want to do. But I never gave up. I remember I got to the end and I had all of these accounting credits that I had to finish. Had to finish that. And I asked one of my professors, this older white man, and I said, what do you think I should do? Because I can get rid of this accounting stuff and I can have a good grade. I could just finance, I'm doing great. And he said, no, he said, you're too close. So you're too close. Stick it out. You're too close. I can't tell you how many white men have told me to stick it out. Have told me, of course, I wouldn't even be here where I am today if a white man didn't believe in me. Isn't that something?
Well, how many black men believed in you?
And the same, they weren't, unfortunately, in a position to help me get to where I am. But my life is to serve you. My purpose is to serve you. He gave me the opportunity to be in this position to serve you and bring you something uniquely, to give you this AfroEconomics opportunity that I don't know how long God has for me. But I know that I have a gift and I know that I'm here to serve you. But I can't, you know what I'm saying? But I'm thankful that they saw like, this girl like really can do this. I can do this. And hope there's someone out there that's looking at me and they're saying, you can do this. We can do this. I know. But it is like, so I couldn't say like, I think his name was Scott, the one that hated me and was like, you can't do both majors. You know what I'm saying? God allowed him to be canceled out, that I have to realize that there's also a whole bunch that helped me. Because the truth of the matter is, I can't do what I do without the majority assisting me, because they can shut this down. That's sad. That's true. We're born like somebody was talking about the indigenous people, where they were saying that they felt they start their life and they look at their obligation that they have to the world. You know what I'm saying? And And I said, yes, but we're born, we don't look at from a sense of ownership. We're born and we feel owned. If you own something, you feel like you have an obligation to it. Our community too often is dominated by feeling owned. Somebody else is telling you what to do. The overwhelming majority of us are being told what to do. What we have is not really ours. What we have can be taken at any moment. Most people only have that one payment away from losing everything that's important to them other than their family.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
And a lot of that goes back generations.
Oh, yes.
True.
It's humbling. It's humbling, and it just amazes me how our people grow older, and then we go through this. The feeling that you must feel when you know that you have somebody's future right in your hand. You have somebody's opportunity. All you have to do is say no or yes. Think about the power that is.
That's something. That is something.
Wow.
The only way I can find peace in it, I don't know if anybody else thinks that way, you know what I mean? But I just don't see any permanence in anything. And I don't think it's healthy for us to think, you know what I mean, that these things are real, that we have. The only thing that, you know what I mean, that brings me peace is that I know that no matter what happens to me, God is carrying me.
Of course.
No matter what.
Of course.
No matter what. We can recover. We can make it. We can make it through it all. But I'm not going to be afraid. See, what happens is too many people don't even try because they know that reality. They go, I'm not even going to try because I know that they can take it anytime. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it is. But we got to at least try. Do you know how many people, you know what I mean, that I've been able to help? So if I only have one more day, so we should live every day like we know that tomorrow's not going to happen no matter what. If it's from a regulatory perspective, it's from a discrimination perspective, it's from a death, whatever. We got to live every day like it's our last, because really all I have is this moment. That's why I do all these recordings, because I know that tomorrow is not promised. Hopefully this will still be here.
Somebody just said God got us. He does.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. We have to wrap him around. If not, we're going to be some drunk, messed up people. You know what I'm saying? That's what we have in our community. A whole bunch of self-medicating because of the hell that we have to realize that none of it, you know what I mean? None of it is real. Just don't put too much, you know what I mean? Don't put too much value in stuff that we cannot control. What we can control is like right here, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like all we can do is control ourselves. I'll be doggone if I'm gonna let the world win. This morning I woke up and I was like, whoa, I got a lot to do, and still got a lot more to do. But we cannot give in. We cannot give in. We cannot. Somebody needs to hear that.
Excellent point, JP.
Somebody needs to realize that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Excellent point.
You know what I put a post in YouTube, y'all, so check it out, about consistency. That's how we win. Consistency. And I was like, this morning I was doing push-ups and God gave me the vision on how I was going to finish all the stuff I have to turn in for regulation, for the regulators. I also have to turn in for school. I have to turn in for client needs. I have to turn. So everything he said, do it in sets, just like you do these push-ups. You can do 100. I bet I could do 100 push-ups if I did them in tens. Give me 10 and then give me a couple of minutes to rest. Give me 10s and give me a couple of minutes to rest. Give me 10. You know what I'm saying? You can do a whole bunch. But we have to have a plan and we have to break it down into sets. And that's the way we have to look at our life. And that's the way we have to look at our investments. You know what I mean? That's how we have to look at everything we have to do. Like the client that I was getting her tax situation straight. I was like, let's wait. Let's see what we get in the mail. And let's within the next 7 days, we got to make our next move, get the money available because you're going to have a liability, but we have to call them back to make sure that they've adjusted the bill because of some errors that are on there. So let's, that. So let's just give it the time. But what? That's breaking it into sets. And that has helped my life in every way. Break it down into achievable steps.
Mm-hmm.
Manage that project, right, Mr. Hayden? Manage it. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all so much.
We appreciate you, JB.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Walton.
Yep.
Yeah, so positive. Y'all so positive.
Your heart. Thank you, my love.
Thank you. I'm glad you got back safely.
I did.
Yes, indeed. Y'all
Wait
traveling.
a minute, JB.
I know.
Was she out with the
Don't
data?
you start. You start. Had an awesome time, everyone. I missed you. I tried to check in on Sunday, but
Love y'all.
so much noise. Take care, everyone. Love you.
Love you too.
How you doing, Dr. Ward? We still got to talk that out, but I got it straight with him. How you doing, Mr. Joe?
I am excellent.
You look
Good
beautiful
night,
as
Mr.
ever.
Joe.
Started, Jay.
Good night.
Good night,
night.
JB. I love you.
I love you. I love you, Dr. Ward. I hope to see y'all Friday morning.
All right.
Be there.
I see
Friday
you Friday
morning.
afternoon. I'll be there
I'm gonna
Friday
talk to you
afternoon.
before.
Oh, I hope so. Night. Good night.
One bite at a time, Mr. Wynn. Amen.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you, King Hollis. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Thank you. Rosita. Good to see you. I didn't see you. We started talking.
Love you.
Love you, baby doll. I'm gonna post it so you can see it. You see the recording.
Okay. Have a good
Good
night.
night, Major Jones.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night now.
JB, this
Yes,
is Deborah.
indeed. Hey, honey.
Hi. Would you like to reschedule? I can reschedule for tomorrow.
Oh, you're so sweet. No, don't worry. It's gonna be fine. No, you're gonna be fine. But I will I'll text you and then we'll
Okay.
see what's best. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Yeah, because I know you're busy too. So yeah, as long as you're good, I'm good.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, I'm flexible for the next week.
beautiful.
So, yeah, just let me know.
You're so
Yeah.
sweet. See, that's God giving me blessings, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, nah. You're like, look, she said exactly. All right. I'll check on you.
Okay.
Later. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you. You're
Sure.
so sweet. Good night. One of us report artists, me, featuring breaking